Hi there guys, Big Ryan, JC Ryan, James Cropper, and today we're going to be exploring your potential as it pertains to NoFap. Now, for those of you who don't know what that is, that basically means that you are to quit, to completely give up masturbation for an X amount of time in order to encourage your manifestation ability. You see, it's been known for a while now that if you ejaculate, that you'll be releasing creation energy and therefore your other manifestations will fall short. But what I've come to notice on the internet is that a lot of people have misunderstood some basic principles of semen retention. And so in this video, what I want to be talking about is how to do it properly so that you can increase your manifestation potential. Okay? Now, I'm not sure how long this video is going to be. It's quite simple and straightforward. And so I'm just going to tell you how you should be perceiving or taking in the concept of NoFap in order to adequately practice NoFap. When it comes to NoFap, there's one crucial misunderstanding, which is that if you allow yourself to get aroused, matter of fact, if you encourage arousal, that you can then transmute this arousal energy into manifestation energy. This is why it's wrong. It's wrong because if you encourage arousal energy within your body, then what you're going to be doing is signaling your body to create specific hormones for the purpose of creating a life. When your body's busy creating these hormones, it's not looking to create anything else but a life. And so your mind might be elsewhere. You might be wanting to create a new business, a better relationship, anything. But your entire anatomy is saying that all I want to do is create a life. For this reason, your energies aren't synced up towards one specific goal. Your body wants to do one thing, your mind might want to do many other things. And so, creating sexual energy doesn't actually help you when it comes to manifesting anything but a life or a relationship for that purpose. How do you do it right? Well, this is how you do it. You've probably heard of the successful man stereotype. A stereotype that's based around the idea that a man that's very successful hasn't got a sex life at all. Matter of fact, their mind is so far off of the topic of sex that they're able to harness all of their energies into their business, which is why they're so successful. Now, there's a lot of credence to this, a lot of credibility, because they're actually doing it right. You see, when you're not thinking sexual thoughts, lustful thoughts, when you're not engaging in porn or masturbation, then what happens is that the body is no longer generating sexual energy, which again is used to create a life. And so, because you're not using up all of your energy towards that specific purpose, you've got a lot of energy to work with. The key here is not to think sexual thoughts, is to completely remove your mind from that topic. And then what ends up happening is that you've got all of this free energy to put towards something else. You see, another word for this is focus. Now imagine this, you're drawing, and you're so into drawing that you forget to eat, that you forget to use the bathroom, that you forget to have the usual conversations that you would usually have throughout your day. Matter of fact, you've been locked in your room for ages until that masterpiece has been completed. What's happened there? Well, your mind wanted to manifest a drawing. You had an image inside of your head, right? And then you started the process of drawing. And as you're drawing, all of your energies inside of the body start to align to actually turn off specific parts of your body, such as your bladder. Your digestion slows way down, and it's like your body, heck, the universe is helping you here from a physical standpoint, create this masterpiece without any bodily distractions. Your mind, your emotions, and your body are in sync. And because of this, you're able to coherently execute a task. Okay? When it comes to manifestation, your mind, your emotions, and your body need to become synced up. That way, you'll be able to think adequately and actually move and behave in the right ways in order to manifest the thing that you want. It starts off with an intention, and then an image of what you want. And then you get emotional. Your emotions then signal your body into a specific mode of being. This way, you're able to then carry out something, execute something perfectly. Think about sports, okay? Basketball, football, tennis, no matter what it is, even going to the gym, every exercise requires you to be hyped up. You know what you want out of your practice, and then you work towards emotionally investing yourself into that task until eventually you reach your goals, whether it be bigger muscles or better free throws. And so when it comes to the transmutation of sexual energy, really what's happening here is you're transmuting energy into something else that better matches your desires. Okay, you're transmuting base energy into something usable. You don't take base energy, turn it into sexual energy, and then try to transmute sexual energy. It doesn't actually work like that. You're going to be sending your body mixed signals. Now, when it comes to the topic of NoFap, there's this other myth that often dissuades a lot of people in even attempting to go large periods of time without masturbating. Because most people who get into this topic want to live a very long period of time. The myth is that if you use up all of your creation energy, then that means that you will age faster and that you will have a shorter lifespan. Or in other words, if you ejaculate a lot, then you will shorten your lifespan. The reason as to why this is a myth is because remember that base energy I was talking about earlier? Well, you actually draw that into the body whilst you're sleeping. And you can also do that simply by sitting there and not thinking. When you do this, when you're able to detach yourself from all forms of thought, even thoughts about your future and your past, what happens is you go into this non-state, this state where you're simply just being. You're not thinking about being, because then you'll be thinking. You just are. And in this state, you'll start to pull in a lot of this energy, which is used to create your body, to help you think, and to help perpetuate your lifespan. If you just lay in bed and do this, you'll find that when you come to, you feel refreshed. People call this a micro nap. And so, if you have the ability to draw in energy into your body, then that means that you never really run out. Matter of fact, if you study breath work and you're able to do it properly, you'll always be able to pull in this energy into the body. Therefore, you'll always live forever. The problem is that most people don't give this energy a chance to build their body, simply because the energy is being used for other things, such as rebuilding sperm within the system, digesting your food when you eat too much. All of the energy will be used to break down the food. All of the energy will be used to take minerals and nutrients and sperm cells to create semen. Not only that, but a lot of people stress and they overthink. And when you do this, you burn up a lot of energy too. When you're constantly overworking your system like this and constantly causing the body to demand more things because you're constantly depleting yourself, then what ends up happening is this energy no longer has the ability to heal your body because it's busy doing other things, going towards other things. And so, when you allow yourself a moment of pause, then what ends up happening is you pull this energy into the body. And because of this, you have an abundance of energy. Matter of fact, if you know how to breathe properly, you never lose energy at all. And so, what state would be the ideal state to practice NoFap? Well, you'd have to stop thinking lustful thoughts. It's kind of difficult because there are people half naked everywhere, and it's always in TV shows, sexuality. It's always in music videos. It's on social media, Instagram. You've got a lot of triggers out there. So the world is pretty much against you when it comes to being in a non-aroused state. You can't change the world around you, at least that much. However, you can change what things mean to you. There is a practice that I often teach my clients. If they're struggling with porn addiction, sexual arousal tendencies, sex addict tendencies. And what it is simply demystifying the illusion of sex. You see, when you're around people, just seeing them can send a signal to your brain and your body that, okay, we're now going to prepare you for sex because this is what's in front of you. This sex machine, this curvy woman or this very muscular man. To demystify that perceived experience, you simply got to get really realistic as to what's happening right in front of you. You can say a few affirmations to affirm the fact to you that you're not about to engage in a sexual activity. You can do this with porn too, but let's first start off with physical encounters. You can say to yourself, you don't know that person. Okay? You haven't spoken to that person. You aren't going to speak to that person, and you're not going to go home with that person because you've just bumped into them in the middle of a supermarket or in the middle of a street. And so, they're just a passerby, and that's as far as that interaction goes. Meaning, there's no reason to be aroused because you're never going to see that person again. When you use fact-based logic like this, the body starts to turn off. You'll notice your arousal will plummet pretty fast because now your body has no reason to be aroused. Alright? Now that's as it pertains to a stranger. You can do this by venturing out into the public in front of attractive people. And then you can state to yourself, I don't know them, I'm not going to get to know them, and I'm not going to end up in any form of sexual engagement with these individuals. And so there's no reason for me to be aroused. And you'll notice that again, you'll start to plummet when it comes to your arousal levels. This is really good. You'll know when you're doing it well because you'll go to sleep and you'll wake up the next morning without an erection. The reason as to why you're waking up with an erection is because you're having lustful thoughts throughout the day. They might be small, they might be large, but you're planting those seeds into your subconscious mind, and as you're going to sleep, your body is reacting out of the content within your brain, And so what you've got to do here is expunge this content out of your brain so that when you go to sleep, you're not having any sexual thoughts, any sexual fantasies, and you're not waking up ready to go. If you do this well, you can actually go an entire year without getting an erection. Now, most doctors and urologists out there will say that that's bad for you and that it will shrivel up and you'll never be able to use it ever again. Well, I can actually say from personal experience that that doesn't happen. What actually happens is that the penis starts to heal itself because you're not damaging it all the time. Every time you masturbate, and even every time you have sex, you're causing minute damage to your genitals. When you stop using it, it heals. Okay? And so, I just told you how to demystify arousal within a public setting. But what about pornography? Pornography is actually the easiest to do. You see, because it's literally not your experience. It's someone else's experience. Matter of fact, there's only one person in the room when you watch pornography. There's not two people. This will make more sense in a second. When you crack open your laptop and you go on, let's say, Pornhub or some of the most commonly known porn sites out there, you're having to buy into a belief system. You're buying into the belief system that you are engaging in this act. And it kind of feels like it. You're imagining yourself being with this actress. But the reality is it's just you in the bedroom. Matter of fact, let's take it a little further. There are only pixels on your screen. Little bulbs of light going off inside of your retina display. That's not even a person. That's just an illusion, creating the image of a person right in front of you. If you can stare at a screen and see it for what it is, you'll notice that your arousal level will drop pretty fast. And then you want to play the mind trick on you, which really isn't a trick because, again, it's based in reality, which is that you don't know what it's like to have sex with that person at all. Every person is different. Every person smells different. Every person feels different. Okay? You have no clue. You have no clue as to what it's like to be with these porn stars. But you're buying into the belief that you do, and that's what allows you to get aroused and to finish. But if you sit there and you say to yourself that I don't want to be under an illusion anymore, that I want to be disillusioned and become awake, become aware of what's actually happening here, this trap that's right in front of me. If you dedicate a life towards being disillusioned, pornography won't become a problem anymore because it's not real. The next thing that you can do is you can get real with your life circumstance. When was the last time you had sex? When was it? Because if your body's constantly aroused as if you're in a sexually active relationship, then there's a problem, especially if you haven't been in a relationship for the past 2 or 3 years. Or any amount of time, actually. Because you should only be aroused when the occasion calls for it. And so, you get real with yourself. And you kind of catch your body up to speed. And you look at your bedroom, and you look at your bed, and you say to yourself, when was the last time that someone was actually in my bed? And be real with yourself. It feels like 3 months ago, or even a year ago, or even yesterday or last week. Then that means that no one's in your bed right now, and so there's no need to be aroused or to be ready for sex. When you do this, and you look around your room further, and you say, okay, when was the last time someone else entered into my room through that door? Last week, last month, last year. Well, that means that they're not doing it right now, and so your body shouldn't be prepared for sex. When you take a stroll throughout your house, and you do the same thing, when was the last time someone was sat at my dinner table other than me, that I was sexually with? Again, it could have been a month ago, could have been a week ago, could have been a year ago, but it's not happening right now. And so there's no reason to be ready for sex. Be in the present moment and your body won't be aroused because there's nothing in your environment to make you aroused. And so you're very realistic within your current circumstance. And then by being so, you'll be very calm, very centered, and your arousal level will turn off. You'll get to a point, like I said, where nothing happens down there, and that's perfect. Because that means that now you've got all of this energy that you could use to put towards your manifestations. At this point, just stay focused. Think about what you want to manifest. Think about what you want to achieve as a person and get excited about it. Heck, whilst you're imagining yourself being a better person, being a public speaker, being financially successful, embody those feelings and act that way. That way, all of those new emotions that you're feeling that actually feel like you're successful in the moment, those emotions will be created out of the energy that you otherwise would have used up if you had ejaculated. And these emotions are important because they manipulate your consciousness. They change how you think and how you process your thoughts. They change your perception on yourself, which allows you to be a certain way in life, which will allow you to then further manifest things because you're playing the role. Alright, so this is going to be about it, guys. This is how to properly practice NoFap. It's got nothing to do with taking sexual energy and transmuting it into something else. Matter of fact, we completely remove sexual energy out of the body in order to allow us the freedom to use our energies for something else. And when you do this, you shoot straight forward towards your goals. Okay, so I'm Ryan James Cropper, a spiritual life coach. If you'd like to book a session with me, you can do so simply by visiting my website, ryancropper.com. Subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos like this, and I'll speak to you all pretty soon. Take care. Peace.